Sorry, was I next? I was yelling at my kid off camera. Oh, Christopher says hi. I'm Veronica Schmidt. I am a fifth grader's parent at NTA, and I'm glad to be here.
And I am Latasha Napper. I have two boys at NTA, Jaden and Jonathan, who are in 4th grade and 2nd grade.
All right, thank you for that, everybody. So with that, now that we've introduced ourselves, and we do have a couple more guests who are on their way. They'll be joining us shortly. I'm going to go ahead and play Prevail. It's about 10 minutes, and then after that, we'll come back and react to the film and talk about what this day means to us as members of this special community. So bear with me as I cue it up. Can everyone see the black screen? Just want to make sure. All right, good. National Teachers Academy is more than a school. It is a vibrant and tight-knit community
that sits on the edge of the fastest growing neighborhood in the city of Chicago. It is majority low income, majority African-American school, and an extremely high performing level 1 school, which is the second highest rating that CPS has.
And a model of what can happen when families and students, teachers and community members work together towards a common cause.
There's this exceptional power that our community has to see our students succeed.
We have really devoted parents who oftentimes add new initiatives, bring new ideas to the school to enhance our community.
Everyone here is committed to the students, to making sure that whole child is being serviced and not just the academic part in the classroom.
And that includes not only our staff, but our families and former students.
At last check, there are only 16 CPS schools that have our exact same demographic profile within a system of hundreds of schools. So really that's what makes this a unicorn.
The place that we're standing here, in fact, used to be the site of the Harold Ickes homes. When NTA was first constructed, there was an extreme skepticism about the school and its role within the larger community.
Ickes was still a up and running development, so NTA inherited the kids from Ickes, where it became their neighborhood school.
Those first couple of years were a struggle with students getting adjusted to the new environment. Of course, they felt displaced initially. They missed their old schools.
Community members who lived in the homes will tell you themselves that they didn't believe that this was a school constructed for them.
The Ickes housing projects were dismantled, which we actually were able to watch from our classroom windows. It was a pretty traumatic experience, I think, for the students and for the people that worked here, because the Ickes were a part of NTA.
Forming relationships with staff, with the school team, was very difficult. So for several years, NTA was a significantly underperforming school.
Until we finally got a stable administration with Amy Rowe.
When I first got here, I was the 4th principal in 5 years. There was just a lot of discord and dissatisfaction from parents and families in the community.
It was Amy who believed in getting to know families and parents and community members in a way that others before her had not been able to do.
There was good craft happening in the building, and kids and families weren't taking advantage of it because I think of the mistrust. And so going out into the community, like symbolically, like saying we're not going to sit in the school and wait for you to come to us, but like we want to be part of the community.
When she established those relationships is when the school began to rise. My first year as principal at NTA was school year 2013. And that year, NTA fell to a level 3 school. So after that school year, we didn't have a summer off. We spent hours and hours each day planning what the next school year would look and feel like. The NTA way, when I arrived, consisted of 4 core principles focused on the value of respect. NTA was ready for something more aspirational.
When we revamped it a few years ago, I thought the process was really amazing.
The NTA way is a collaboration between all the key stakeholders in our school.
As a school community, students, parents came together and really set a vision for what we wanted for our students.
Which is the 4 core values of courage, commitment, awareness, and integrity.
And I think what's really great about the NTA way is that it talks about a variety of aspects. So this idea of integrity is, yes, something we value, but so is commitment. The fact that we value commitment, but we also value courage, and then also awareness.
So I'll read a book that's associated with each component of the NTA way, and we talk about what it means and kind of how they can apply that.
Instead of having a really narrow, like, I want to be on the honor roll and I want to have perfect attendance, I feel like their vision of what makes a strong person includes those values. That to me is the strength of what we're instilling in our students.
Through the NTA way, our children are learning more about themselves, learning about others, and they're more aware and more understanding of the community around them. And they've taken steps to enhance the community around them.
They did a water drive for Flint, Michigan when they found out about the injustice that was happening in that community.
They organized the transportation to and from Flint. They promoted it among our community.
I've had students run and organize a food drive after they tweeted about things that they cared about in their community, and then thinking about what action can go with that.
It was all done completely by students.
The student experience here is that they see themselves as an agent of change.
So it's not just about the addition and subtraction or learning how to read, but learning how to be a citizen.
And whether that means raising money for breast cancer awareness, bringing water to Flint, or standing up for their school community, they always see their role as being a leader in that.
We've always had a theme of social justice throughout the school and made it a priority to celebrate our students and to celebrate their identity.
We always did museum walk where students had a chance to display some learning on a social justice topic.
And teaches our students from a very young age about what's going on in the world and having a voice.
And how they play a role in not only the world, but their local community and their school community.
Having left NTA and worked in other school communities, I'm even more convinced that it's a unique collective disposition in the school, and it's a pretty special place.
So this year, our school mission, our school mantra is plan, persist, and prevail. Plan comes from the importance of planning each and every lesson out effectively and intentionally. Persist was chosen because this year we're continuing with some key initiatives that we dove headfirst into last year, such as restorative practices. The last word, prevail, has a multitude of meanings. First of all, we set really ambitious outcomes for our children and for our staff. It's going to take a lot of planning, a lot of persistence for us to prevail and meet each and every one of those benchmarks. But there's also another element that includes our entire community, which involves the proposal to turn NTA into a high school.
How I would describe what's currently happening to NTA is a story that I think the Black community here in the South Loop knows really well. It's a story of displacement. It's a story of taking over a community without thinking about impact.
And our parents haven't had a voice in it. We haven't had a voice, and we're called to the table at the end for a decision that seems to already have been decided.
And without regard for all the wonderful things that are going on at the school, we're level 1 school, hopefully soon to be level 1 plus.
So many families have spoken out and have acted in favor and in support of NTA that the word prevail has a special meaning for our entire community as well.
I have 5 children, 3 already graduated, and I also have 11 nieces and nephews who attend here. So I am NTA.
What we do here is special, and for it to be taken away or changed or altered in a way that the community that helped to build what's here now, where they have not been involved or haven't had a voice, I think it's a classic picture of injustice.
But one I feel like we can continue to fight and prevail in because of what our kids are doing and what they deserve.
It's unfair, and we're going to fight.
NTA has become a place that has created both a strong culture and community and an academically rigorous environment. And when we look across this system, it should be held up as a model.
So the best case scenario is that leave us where we are, let us grow and continue to be excellent, let us reach our level 1 plus status, and be a shining beacon, you know, of what to do right.
All right, I think I am taking it from here then, Mr. Castellas.
Sure.
Awesome. I am wondering too, if there is another video that is on YouTube, I believe, that kind of chronicles some of the meetings and things like that. If maybe we can end by sharing that one as well. But, and I don't know, I'm not on live, so you'll have to tell me if there are other questions that are coming through that way. But as we talk about NTA and watch the video, and hi, Angel. And so as we talk about NTA and watch the video, and I could see Veronica maybe getting a little bit emotional about it, and it is a very emotional day and process for us because it was quite the struggle. It was, there was so much beauty in it, but so much pain at the same time. And so as I think about this, I always think about what our actions as teachers, administrators, and parents and staff help to impart to the children. And I'm really excited to see what kind of advocates we have, you know, they become in the future because of their involvement with this and understanding and that they have a voice and leveraging their voice. So I don't think that any of the students have joined us yet, but I'll ask this question. Have we gotten any yet, Mr. Castellas?
No, is on her way though. She'll be here hopefully within the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, so we'll have some time to talk to them. But in the meantime, what the first question I'll pose as the facilitator, I'm not going to do as much talking. I want to ask questions this time. But what is it that you feel like you gained from this? Just really the fight. It was a fight to keep NTA open. And I think this went on for about 20 months, I want to say. And so when it was all said and done, and we get to December 3rd, 2 years ago, and the judge says that, yes, we've proven our case and the injunction, you know, there will be an injunction to stop CPS's action. What did you feel in that moment, and what did that mean to you for future of NTA and students? Can I ask you, Veronica, to go?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm also, yeah. Aiko just said that she put the link to the video somewhere. I don't know where she said she put it though. I'm sorry. She just sent me a text. I was watching that and thinking about it. I think it was Nikita. Somebody, I'm pretty sure it was Nikita, but you know, we kept being told that, you know, this is a plan. It's going to happen. Like it's, you know, it's a done deal. It's a done deal, right? And Nikita said something like, "This is Chicago. Nothing is a done deal until it's done, right?"
Yeah.
And we knew that it was wrong what they were planning to do, and such great things were happening inside of that building that we couldn't not fight, right? So I think that I mean, I had been in protests before, nothing as majorly. I mean, this was a huge thing to be involved in. And it was all consuming, right? I mean, I wouldn't change anything. I'm so happy. I'm not happy we went through it, but I'm so happy we had the group that we had, and that obviously that we won, but it was really great to learn how to use your voice and demand what was right.
Mhm. Awesome. How about you, Mrs. Pats? I was all ready to say Miss Flynn, and I had to look at it because I'm still not used to calling you Mrs. Pats yet, but I'll get there.
It is all good. I think like really having such local, such immediate material to really show to the kids too what genuine activism looks like was probably one of the most powerful parts of being a part of this situation. Showing them that, you know, raising your voice is not always easy. I remember there were like teachers who, you know, raised their voice and maybe had some sort of backlash because of that. There were people in general from the NTA community that had backlash because of that. And I was honest with my kids today, even talking about it and saying that it's not easy. And sometimes people will either judge you or reprimand you for raising your voice. But when it is centered around doing the right thing, that is what is most important and what will get you, hopefully, the results that are just and that are right.
Mhm. Mr. Castellas, anything to add to that? Just how did that hit you, and what did that mean for that decision mean for NTA moving forward in your heart? Like what?
It for me, this day and that experience is it's fuel for me. Every time that I feel like I'm tired, or I feel like I can't do it, or that it's not worth it, and I could be talking about anything related to NTA. I'm reminded of what it took to save our school and the great risk that, as Ms. Pat said, that so many of us took in fighting the way that we did, because frankly, none of it was, well, almost none of it was legal, right? The stuff that many of us were doing. And because so many family members, so many students put themselves on the line for NTA, it is a reminder to myself and hopefully to everyone in my school family that we're here to serve students every single day. Every single day. We can't stop. We can't get tired. We can't give in, because we literally exist because families fought for us to exist. And the minute that we pat ourselves on the back for accomplishing this, that, or the third, because we're doing lots of great work at NTA, and we could simply be happy with what we're doing. But until every single child gets into the first high school of their choice, until every single child grows up and changes the world in the way that they envisioned so doing, as an 8th grader, as a 7th grader, as a 1st grader sitting in Miss Patz's classroom, then we have not yet succeeded. And that sometimes can be a hard way to think about the work, but for me now, it's the only way to think about the work, because every day is a day that we've been given because of the sacrifices that our families, our students, and our community made to keep us the strong school community, strong school family that we are.
Awesome. And speaking of students, the Moores have joined us. Hi, Temple. Hi, Darnell. Hi, Herbert.
Yeah.
How are you guys? So we are great. It's good to see you. We are, I am sort of facilitating a Q&A right now to just hear, and I really wanted to hear from some students and just what you learned in this process. What do you think you got out of it's the whole process of fighting for the school and then getting to the point where we get to this day a couple years ago and the judge says, yep, I'm issuing this injunction. You guys can, NTA will stay as it is, and then CPS drops the case. For you two as students who are a little bit younger now, like what did that teach you? What do you think you're going to go forward in life with as a result of the lessons you learned?
Well, the first thing I learned is that our community as a whole is strong and that we were able to push through it together. And I also was able to learn that life just isn't fair. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow and push past it to make sure you are the best that you can be when you when you prosper in life.
Oh well, I learned that to never give up and don't just quit when things get hard, and that when we come together as a community that we can accomplish anything.
That's awesome. I just learned that the voice is a whole lot deeper than I remember before COVID. So, oh my gosh, everybody's growing up. That was great. Thank you for.
We got
For
an eighth
answering.
grader here. That eighth grader there and a sixth grader.
Yes. So, Temple, how about you as a parent? What what made you keep
I'm gonna
going?
be like Veronica. I try not to talk about it because I'll be like Veronica crying all over the place. But for me, and I'm getting ready to cry. But for me, because I always want to make the right decision for my children, and I knew in my heart that I made the right decision. I just could not imagine it being taken away because people just decided that that's what they wanted to do, basically. And it just hurt me to the core that could possibly happen. I am glad that my boys will be able to graduate from NTA, because for me, any community that I put them in or whomever I surround them around, that's family. So I did not want their school family taken away. So that feat was a great one. And for me also, the same thing. I think I did kick them. Can you hear me?
We can still hear you.
Oh, okay. So me, I went to Providence St. Mel on the west side, and that school went through the same thing, almost got closed, so it was just like really scary for me. Although I wasn't at Providence St. Mel at the time, I heard the stories, and I was just like, no, I am not gonna sit through this. So it really hit home for me. I did not want my family to lose. I didn't want my children to lose the NTA family. And and then at the same time, I'm one of those people that, oh, this just can't happen. I think I wasn't accepting it either. So like mentally, because sometimes things that are to happen that are unbelievable for me, I don't accept. So I don't think I really ever accepted that it was going to close, because I just couldn't believe that would happen, because again, I chose this family for my children, and I know that this was the best place for them. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy.
Awesome. And Ms. Green, I think you were not yet an NTA parent at the time. And I don't see a video, so I'm hoping that you're available still to talk and answer a question. But I'm wondering how, as someone who wasn't in the school at the time, just how this impacted you coming into this community and still deciding to come to NTA.
Hi. For me, I always wanted my children to go to NTA. I remember when it actually began to break ground, and I would drive past looking over from the expressway, saying that I wanted my children to go there. As a product of the Chicago public school system, and honestly a classical program, I knew that just based off of some of the resources that NTA had, that it would be a wonderful opportunity for my children. So when I learned about the fight, I'm sorry.
Oh, you have a little one.
Yeah, I do. Sorry about that.
No worries.
When the fight began, I was actually in the neighborhood, and there's he's now a lobbyist, and he and I would discuss it quite a bit. And so it was something that was on the radar, and I was definitely in support of NTA, definitely supportive of NTA remaining open. So like you said, although I wasn't there, it was definitely something that was on my radar, and I was always supportive of it.
Got it. Okay, for me, I'm just going to add like 5 really quick things that I thought about that I got from this, and that was one, lifelong friendships that I think definitely will be there when you struggle together. There's something about that process that just breeds connection differently. I really appreciated that the fight encouraged others, because it wasn't the first time that there was a plan to close NTA or take NTA away. And I think some of the parents that have been there for a while and gone through this not once or twice, but now the 3rd time, were just really tired. And it was great that there were parents that hadn't experienced that could keep going and had some of the energy to go and fight. But I love that it encouraged people, as we made one little small step here and there, for people to go, okay, maybe we might be able to do this. And even though we're discouraged, maybe we might keep trying and keep moving forward. I think it taught us the power of a democracy in truth, that the people have a voice and that we can be heard, even when we're being discouraged and told that it's a done deal and this is what's going to happen. And there was this piece of justice prevailing that was clearly the thing that was right happened. And that doesn't always happen in American society. It doesn't always happen in the criminal justice system. So to see that happen in this case was huge to me, and it was very personal, but I can only imagine how our children would have felt had that not happened, and how crushing that would have been to their spirit. So I'm really grateful that justice did prevail in this case. And then I think we wound up leaving this legacy for posterity, this NTA for our children. And one thing that is very important to me personally about NTA is the fact that I think it cares for Black children really well. And not just for them academically, but for their personhood. And there's a very deliberate way of interacting with our children in order to make sure that they are well. And so I had one child there at the time. My second son now gets to experience it. And hopefully Joseph, the third, who just turned 3 a couple weeks ago, will be at NTA, in a couple of years. And so for me, that is huge. I had every hope and sense that NTA would remain. And there were a couple times that people said to me, well, what are you going to do if it's not? And I was like, I can't even get my mind to go to that place that it's not, but at some point we had to start doing some practical things to plan. But I'm super grateful. I was just talking about NTA yesterday to someone, and about how well it cares for our children, and why that was so important for me in choosing a school. And I knew I had chosen the right school, and I had to absolutely fight for it for my children and for every other child that's in that school. So it's quite wonderful to sit on this side of all of that now, and to experience the school being here, and having been in some way vindicated and validated that, we are a wonderful community, a wonderful learning community, and not just a learning community, but just, a community of a family, as Temple put it. So I don't know if we got any questions or any comments on Facebook, because I can't see Facebook, but if we do, we can go address some of those. And if not, then I know that you have the video ready, Mr. Castle, so we can watch that other video and maybe conclude it with that.
Yeah, I'll play the video, and then we can invite friends to ask questions or make comments in the chat, and we can respond to those. I think hopefully Marie is on her way. I know she was in practice and was trying to make it in. So we can do that. That sound like a good plan?
Sounds great.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pull up the video then. Bear with me for a second.
Thank you. And are we live on the families page?
We're on the NTA page right now.
Got it. Okay.
But someone could take the stream from the NTA Facebook page and broadcast it on the They could host a party under the families page, I believe.
Okay.
I just want to confirm you all can see the screen. NTA is here to stay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, playing now.
Can't quite hear it though. I think we can't quite get the volume here, even though there's just music. So for those who may not be aware of kind of how the whole plan went, I'll narrate just a little bit and add a couple comments here and there.
Hey, Miss Napper, all I'm hearing is music. There is no voiceover as of right now.
Right. Nope, it's just music. So I was thinking, since I'm not even hearing the music across, then I can just narrate a little bit and add some commentary to what's happening.
Here, I can try to share again. Yeah, I mean, I just shared it the same way I shared the last one.
Okay.
Optimize, okay, screen share for really quick. Let's do that. Okay, can you all see the YouTube video now?
Yes.
Yep.
Is that better?
Yes, we can hear the sound well.
Okay, I'll rewind just a little bit then.
something that's made us a whole and taught us valuable lessons to give it to someone else who hasn't worked as hard as we have. And we feel that this situation,
You got it, Murray.
And Monday was Indigenous Peoples Day. That was the day that Christopher Columbus, he took over and the Indigenous people land and just moved them away. And I wanted to tell y'all that today because that's what y'all are trying to do to our school. And y'all just trying to take us out of our school and move us to another place when we was there before. And I am enraged that you are trying to close our school because we are a level 1 school and our academics are amazing. We have
great. We were a level 3 school in the past years, but we've grown to become a level 1 school, which is amazing. We know the struggle. We know how it is to fight. We know what it feels like to be forgotten. But now we're in the air. But here, I'm here to tell you that we shouldn't close NTA. NTA is an amazing school, like our artist said.
So those were our 8th graders that went to make statements at city council meetings, and then as they started chanting, getting kicked out of city council meetings. Protest at the school, and at some point you'll see us protesting in front of Brown Emmanuel home, who was the mayor at the time.
The gubernatorial debate the other day, and they had some questions.
Some of them did agree with us, and they said that they will stand with us and help and make sure that they can do what's needed to help us keep our school open, so it'll benefit the younger kids that is going there, since we are in 8th grade. And basically, we felt very appreciative because we've seen that people are standing with us and we're not the only ones. And we're showing that we do have a voice as a young group of kids and students.
So wait a minute.
Public school! We choose public school!
So by that time, we were fighting.
The children behind me are all smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That's actually not true. But if they lose the type of educational advantage they have, it will be the equivalent of 1 pack of cigarettes a day. That is the harm that is being chosen to inflict on these children to the benefit of someone else.
Dr. Paul Kent, who testified.
I believe that we
again.
So today at 3:25, the judge granted our
With the staff learning about the judge's decision, first time. Awesome. Applause. All right, thank you, Mr. C, for playing that video.
You're welcome.
All right, does anybody see anything on Facebook that we need to respond to? Or shall I say grammatically correctly, to which we need to respond?
I don't see any questions.
All right. Well, it's nearly
Miss
7.
Audrey says, hello, everyone.
Hey, Audrey. All right, well, I think, should I turn it back over to you, Mr. C, then? Any final words?
Sure. Is there anyone that I guess would like to react to the video? Did it bring back a memory, or is there anything that stood out to you that resonated before we close? I guess just would love to hear any thoughts from this group if there are any.
Just all of it.
I mean, I can speak and, try not to sob more. Just watching it and just thinking about how amazing those kids were and how lucky I was to be able to go along this journey with them, and whatever they wanted to do, however we could facilitate it. It was really something. Oh, here comes Marie. It was really special, and it was amazing. It was like turning lemons into lemonade, right?
It's just a great feeling. It was just
Yeah.
the whole. It was just like a feel good. It was victory. That's right, victory.
Yeah, I think like this sort of like almost like colonization, for lack of better words, is not something that is unique. You know, it happens every day. And so for something to finally, it felt like finally fall into place and towards the side of what was just and what was right. And especially for a school full of kids, just felt so relieving. And that video that showed the staff, like I so vividly remember that day and the feeling of just relief, and also, like Isaac said earlier, just fuel to that fire of needing to do even more.
Yeah, the victory, the saving of our school, to me was almost like a new lease on our work as a school family, and it was like a charge to sort of push ourselves even harder, even further. And so in some ways, the victory felt like something more final, but in fact, the way that I've tried to approach it, for better or worse, in my leadership or my missteps as a leader, is to try to push us and our school even further as a result of this. That we just saved our school in historic fashion, and if we can do that together, there's nothing that we can't accomplish, because we shouldn't even be here right now. So that's the way that I've tried to sort of guide the school in our 2 years since then. And it's been a challenge, but it's also, there's never been a day when I haven't thought that I wasn't doing the right thing. I've been completely convicted in the direction that we're going as a school. I'm enthused by it, and NTA's best days are still ahead. I know that to be true, because it's something that we value as a school, is this idea, this practice of continuous improvement. And it warms my heart when students come back to NTA and say, "Dang, we didn't have that when I was here. How come we didn't have that then?" And it's like, well, we're still adding on. Every child at NTA is going to have that experience of, you know what, we didn't have that when we were there. We're always going to keep pushing. We're going to keep getting better and growing, and we'll do it together. So this video, this experience has been a reminder for me, and hopefully for others, of the power that we have when we work together. But with that said, very special friend here is with us now. She was in practice. She hustled to get here with us, so we appreciate her joining. Miss Marie Crawford in the house.
I have Tony with me. Hi.
Hi, girls.
Fantastic graduates who were featured in the video, both videos that we saw. So I guess, Marie, Tony, tell us first, how are you both doing? What have you been up to? And then tell us about how you've celebrated NTA Day.
Well, I've been doing good. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, like when it comes to us going to school and practice during the pandemic. So that's been kind of difficult, and like adjusting to certain things. But overall, we're doing pretty good. Things could be a lot worse, but I'm glad that we are as well as we are now. It's for me, it's just
like now and seeing the things that the current students are able to have, and just being so surprised at how working my 8th grade.
Marie, adjust your volume. Marie, adjust your volume.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
What part did you hear anything I said or no?
We heard you say that you're doing well under the circumstances. You could be doing a lot worse. You said that you've had some downs, and I think you were just about to tell us how you've been celebrating NTA Day.
Yeah, it looks like she might have lost her connection.
Yep.
It's so 2020.
There, she's jumping back in now.
Okay, we back.
All right, go for it.
We back. Okay. No, I was just saying how astonished that I am with how far we've come. Like from where I started being a part of the NTA family and the different changes that we've been through, and how excited that I'm able to watch these other kids grow from when they were so young and being able to get the things and experience the things that we wanted to experience while we were in middle school, and how much everything has came together. And everything is just like overwhelming sometimes because of how hard we fought and that it actually paid off. And sometimes it's so surreal. Yeah, and that just makes me just so happy that there's other people and other children that will be able to get the experience what it's like to be a part of the NTA family. Can they hear us? Yeah.
Tony, how are you doing there, my friend?
Hi, Mr. C. I'm doing wonderful. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
It's so nice to be with you now. I'm sorry we can't be together, but I'm happy that we're connected. I see you both have your NTA jackets on.
Yes, sir, Reverend.
So Tony, what did you think about the video? And when you think about this day, the day that the court granted our injunction to stop the closure, like what does this day mean to you? Been thinking about
At the point that we're at now, that the kids, they just get to experience the stuff we experience and more. We fought so hard, those long days, riding on the train, taking the bus, trying to get down to City Hall, and snowing, us missing school. It's just, I'm so glad that what we had to sacrifice is paying off for the kids that are still there. So now they get to have an experience that we had, which is what I actually love. So they get to, have fun. That's what NTA is about, having fun and working hard.
Yeah. They get to experience that family bond that we had growing up. And that still stays with us until now. Like the values that we learned, they're going to be able to refer back to past situations that they had at the school and experiences and be able to put that into play into their life in the future. And that's just something that we will never be able to forget. And I'm truly thankful for being able to be a part of such a family and a school and have the support that I had growing up. And even now, like I know if I need anything, I could reach out. Any recommendations, office hours, or just somebody that I need to talk to, I can get that within the family at NTA. And I love it.
Love it so much.
Well, on behalf of my two young students and hopefully a third, thank you very much for all the work that you did as students to make sure that they had access to this. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
I appreciate it too. I appreciate it too. And just to even hear you all speaking, how you articulate your feelings and the emotions, it's just so, it's like overwhelming. I'm trying not to cry, but it's so overwhelming.
It really is. For me, I often cry, like just sitting there thinking about the situation and everything that we went through. Like earlier, just thinking about when I got the text asking if we wanted to speak or join the Zoom, I was like, of course. Like, I'm not going to miss this for anything.
Absolutely.
And it's just so crazy because not everybody gets to go through what we went through. And for us to actually win our fight, because there were several schools that was also fighting the same thing with us, that just makes me think that like anything I put my mind to, I can actually get it accomplished, whether it's trial and error. Just don't give up.
Like, that's basically the biggest thing that I learned in this fight, is that don't give up. Like, if you believe in something, continue to push no matter how hard it is. If you need to take a break, take your break, but don't stop. Find other ways to achieve and accomplish your goals.
Because there's always a way, literally, always.
Always a way.
Always a way. No matter how you have to do it, just do it.
Well, Tony, Marie, thank you all for both being here with us. We all miss you incredibly, coming through in the chat on our Facebook page. Ms. Mayers, Ms. Weidman, Ms. Langston, Ms. McFeely's there watching. And there are so many people who are reacting and responding to you now. Your leadership, your courage, the time you spent at NTA means the world to us. We will never forget you and everything that you did and meant for the school. Every day that we get to spend as NTA staff and students is in large part because of your courage, commitment, awareness, integrity. Of course, now we've added the core value of empathy as well. So thank you for all that you've done and continue to do in your lives in manifesting the NTA way. It is a true inspiration. I hope that when this all finishes and we get past the pandemic, that you come back to NTA so we can celebrate you and hear even more about all the great things that you're doing now as young adults.
Yes, we definitely need
You will for
a
sure see us.
reunion.
Yes, you will for sure see us.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. I was just with the staff earlier today. We had a little bit of a social, and I told the staff that we would go to see a play at some point when the school, when things can return to normal. And so when we all do get back to normal, we're going to have a big celebration of some kind at NTA for current students, for our graduates, for everybody. And you all will definitely be invited to that. And we look forward to doing that sooner than later, as soon as it's safe.
I feel like that would be a great idea.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
We'll be able to meet the new students.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Like meeting new people. Yeah.
For sure.
Especially the new teachers you guys have.
Of course, we do have some new teachers. They're all NTA to the core. You know how we do.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, I know we're a little bit past time, but wanted to spend some time with our good friends Tony and Marie. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Momentous day in our history as a school and in our city. I'm glad to be spending it with you now. Let's continue to carry on the fight in the ways that we can in our roles and in our work today. The work that we did to save our school continues through today and beyond. So let's carry that work on to make our world, our city, our school family the very best that it can be. Love you all and hope to see you all soon.
Love you too. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Happy NTA Day.
Happy NTA Day.